Good evening, guys. We got another episode of Stratchat here. Welcome, Nev from the Escape Podcast. That is our man over here, looking like he's straight out of an '80s music video. I'm loving that watercolor effect. It's lovely. You know, to get a suit that does that. I mean, that really takes some doing. Cheers to your tailor. That's well done.
It's not cheap. It's not cheap to get a suit like this.
So we've got Nev coming up from the Escape Podcast. He's also come from the Chain Gang, and he also does the GAC Network. He's kind of like Christopher Walken. He's one of the most the most well jobbed man in the SWGO community here.
Yeah. No, my Christopher Walken's awful.
You know,
I can't do Christopher Walken to save my life, but thank you for the compliment.
It's strange, you know.
It's strange
I'd say
that all these people seem to like me and want me on their shows. I need more cowbell.
Gotta have more cowbell, baby.
Gotta have more cowbell.
The cock and walk, baby. But yeah, so he's got lots of shows. He's got lots of times that we're gonna get FaceTime with the Nev here. So figured it was about that time. Nev reached out and he's like, hey, you have somebody for your next episode kind of thing. And I'm like, well, no, not yet actually. It's like, well, let's do it. I'm like, let's do it. and it was born. And so we bring him here now to bring his lyrical stylings to you, all these people just tuning in here on YouTube. Do check out Nev on Twitch. He's going to be at the Escape Podcast there, and obviously on YouTube, the Escape Podcast. And you're usually doing your GACs. I'm not even sure on your times. I've seen you do it at a couple of different times.
I used to do them kind of scheduled, usually around about midday, but the 3v3 has kind of really, it takes longer. For some reason, it just takes longer than 5v5 small battles. So I'm kind of a little bit all over the place at the moment, but I usually throw up a tweet or a notification or something when I go live. Sometimes I'll do it in the evening if I know I'm not going to have time to do it the following day. But if I know that I've got the day free, then I'll usually do it the following day after everybody else has done it. I'm one of those people. I'm like you. I prefer to do it after my opponent's gone. I like going after my opponent, but if it doesn't look like I'm gonna really have any issues, then I'm not too scared and I'll go first. But that means going on an evening, so it's going to vary with the 3v3. It's definitely going to vary with the 3v3.
Well, it's funny because I prefer going second simply so that my like stream knows if I've won or not. Like, I hate the indecision at the end of a stream where you're just like, oh, I wonder if they're going to do this. I wonder if my defense is going to hold. Like, it should work based on what he placed. And you start, like, then it starts like another round of me playing through everything in my fucking head trying to figure out if they're going to get through it afterwards. So it's always nice when they have that done. But it's kind of cool when you can go first and you do really well, and it puts a lot of pressure on them, especially with someone like me who likes to set a defense that just is to frustrate the opponent for the most part. If I can get them really like needing to mind their P's and Q's, and they're going to fall into those traps because they're not going to be able to afford some of the teams that they're going to be spending and such.
Yeah, no. Going first does have its advantages because if you go before your opponent and you do get a good score, you like you said, you're putting the pressure is then on them to beat you.
Exactly.
As opposed to the other way around. If you go second, you know it's all the ball is in your court. They've gone. So yeah, if you slip up or anything like that, I mean, if you go first and you know that you can one-shot your opponent, that's when I'm confident.
Yeah, because
if I look at my opponent and I know I can one-shot everything, then I'll go first. Because if you can one-shot everything and post a good score, the pressure that it puts on your opponent, on your competitor, is they know that not only do they have to one-shot you, but they've got to one-shot you and be more efficient.
Yeah.
If you go first and you get held 2 or 3 times, I find that takes the pressure off your opponent because then they're thinking, well, all I have to do is
just
one-shot my opponent.
If I can clear and maybe if I drop one, I'm still good. Like, that's a really good position to be in. So it's definitely tough when that sort of thing happens. Like I've had a couple of times where, you know, I went first and I like messed up on one fight or something, and then I shot the rest of the board and won, and then I'm just basically like schwitzing for the rest of the night, like, oh boy, here we go. You know, I'm gonna wake up to getting one shot or something, and then it's like you get that relief when you see your defense did the job. It's like, okay, that worked out. Okay, I was 100% confident the whole time, 100%. Like.
No, I know exactly. I do. I know exactly what you're talking about, mate. I really, really do. We'll see. I'm happy with the way that GAC's gone so far. I am. What am I again? 6. That was the second week.
Second
Just
week,
done the second week, didn't
second
we?
week.
Yeah. So I'm good. I must admit, I am good. I'm happy. I'm 6-0 at the moment. I haven't come across anybody particularly tough. My fleet defenses have been doing their job. I've been getting holds. So when I've been going in, I'm instantly seeing that they couldn't clear my negotiator, and boom. I know all I have to do is full clear, not even one shots. It's the best feeling in the world. You know that when you're going in there and you know all you need is a full clear, it's an extra pressure reliever. Well, it does. It just relieves your I find it relieves pressure. I know on some other people think, oh God, I'm only going to win if I get a full clear. But I think of it the other way. I think of it, oh great, all I need is a full clear. So to me, it kind of takes a weight off my mind. But I know to some other people, it doesn't. So
well, it also
roundabouts.
It also kind of plays into your game style, because you're very much a full clear every time kind of guy. Like that's your goal.
I like to full clear every time. When I don't full clear, makes me nervous that I'm not going to get makes me nervous I'm not going to get Kyber.
Yeah.
One of my alt accounts, the first week I didn't have a good first week. I lost one round but full cleared, and then on another round in the same week I won but I didn't full clear. And I didn't even get part. I won, but only clearing 2 territories, and that is a massive amount of banners lost. So I don't mind losing 1 or 2 rounds here or there, as long as I get the full clear. Because you can go 9-3, but as long as you get full clears, you can still get Kyber.
Well, honestly, you can go 9-3, and because of the win score, like on 3v3, I actually did the math before 3v3 started. So I only needed, I think it was 2 or 3 full clears, and I could go 9-3 and get Kyber. I think, and I think I could get at 8-4 if I got half full clears or something. I could still get Kyber. It was like, just because the win bonus is like 2,000, it was really big. And so it was like that with like, I mean, you get about 1,000 in defeats, from the the ships, no reinforcements. So like I kind of broke down what I needed to do before 3v3 started. I was like, okay, so yeah, okay. And then the way it worked out, I've done 4 full clears out of the 6. So I'm like, okay, I just need to win like 2 more. I've got Kyber. Like, okay. So that takes all the pressure off me going into these last 2 weeks. I'm just like, all right, whatever.
Like, yeah. No, it does. Because you want to win and you want to get as many full clears, but if you don't get the Kyber at the end of the month, it just sucks. And I mean, I didn't get Kyber last month, and it was the first time I hadn't got Kyber in like 9 months.
Yeah.
But it was because I missed a week. I got booted. It wasn't that I got booted.
You had the join bug.
It's the join glitch.
Yeah.
It's the same one from Territory Wars. So you click on to join, and then that join turns into an enter.
Yeah.
But the glitch is it doesn't send the join to the server. So the next time you log in, it shows up as join again, because it didn't set. It's a bit like when you crash.
Yeah.
Sorry, not crash. It's a bit like when you pull out halfway through a battle.
Yeah,
you pull out halfway through a battle and it doesn't register. Nothing gets sent to the server.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit like that. You'll hit the join, and then you'll go off and do something else, but it hasn't sent the information to the server. And if you don't double check, if you don't go back, log off and log back on again to see that join, then you don't realize it. And if you've only hit the join the once and it hasn't registered, yeah, it kind of sucks. And it sucked for me because I click, I do each of my accounts. So I do my main.
Yeah.
I do my main, and then I go through all 3 of my alt accounts, and it had worked. So all 3 of my alt accounts joined.
Yeah.
But that week, my main. So yeah, I went 9-3. But because you don't get any banners from that missing week, it just wasn't.
Yeah, you don't even get the defense sets or anything like that.
Yeah.
So you're just basically hosed.
And it screwed me over. It screwed me over on GA set. It screwed me over on my GA Center division.
Yeah,
as well. So it's not unless the likes of you, good sir, and Fortmore, and whatever drop. Each of you need to drop 3 rounds between now and the end of the season, and I need to be flawless.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to qualify for the Premier League at the end of the season, and I was really hoping that I would do that, but yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, the GAC network. It's pretty ambitious. It's like having all the content creators, but it's really funny because when you go to the stream, because I'll like hop into the stream and such, because I usually do stream on like a Tuesday or something. I do like an RPG thing, and while I'm having dinner, I'll hop into the GAC network and just kind of have that on. And it's really funny because it's all just the content creators hanging out.
Yeah,
just
well, we made the Discord server. We did make the Discord server specifically just for the competitors.
Yeah.
We wanted somewhere just for the competitors to congregate, so that they could talk and chat and not have to not just make it a public free-for-all Discord server.
Yeah.
Because each individual content creator has their own individual Discord server.
Right. Exactly.
So it made no sense to make just another Discord server and clog it up with. I mean, just no offense to the public or anything like that. It's not about. It's not about stopping the public. It was just about a safe space, because there's like over 50 content creators there,
Yeah.
There's when we first started, I mean, we've got Arnold in there, we had Urza in there, Heinze in there, Gridsy. There's a lot of medium to big content creators, and the last thing we wanted was them getting hit with tags and getting bugged all the time.
Yeah.
We wanted a nice, quiet, comfortable spot where we could have all of the content creators who are competitors together, but at the same time, they're not going to get bugged left, right, and center.
Yeah, I follow you on that. It's definitely a good way to do it, especially in the way that this is all coming together and such, with everybody kind of doing their little week reports and stuff like that, giving you guys the heads up on what went on in their rounds and everything. So, and it's kind of funny, like, because of that, I try to avoid it. Like, I write my report and then I try not to look again, because I'm like, I don't want to find out before the stream. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to hear it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, so it's a funny one. So like every now and then I'll be like, I'm reading one or two, and I'm like, nope. Let's, like, I'll be out of here.
Yeah, because you're looking good at the moment, but no, we all went 3-0 this week, so nobody dropped anything. So
the difference for me this week was, the big one was, I started getting a little bit more adventurous and more comfortable taking out the Galactic Legends without using my Galactic Legends. So like now I've been getting some full clears, and it's been pretty exciting. So it's one of those where, for me, it's always a defense first mentality, because frankly, I know I can stuff my opponent most of the time, and then it goes from that into, well, I just need to take this zone or that zone or whatever, or take the top or whatever, like, and usually who I'm up against just aren't prepared for what I'm going to put for them. Especially, like I said, like the guy who I faced this last time, he was a very, very good player. He had me beat on lifetime score by a decent amount. He had a great account. It was just like mine, same GP, same like top 80. mods, it was almost exactly the same. You know, I had a little bit. He had a few more Zetas, and I had a few more G13s, but it wasn't like a huge swing. But when I got I basically breathed easy when I got the notification from the Prime bot telling me that his defense got set when it clicked to attack mode, which means he didn't change his defense for me whatsoever. So I knew he was dicked. I was like, okay, well, there's no way. You know, and I went and looked at what he said. I'm like, oh yeah, there's no way. There's no way he's getting through my defense. So it's kind of you know, it's definitely an interesting thing. Although I will say 3v3 is definitely a different ball game in terms of trying to stop your opponent.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's just because it's 3v3. I mean, it's strange to say, but you see more unusual combinations of defensive squads in 3v3 than you do in 5v5.
Oh yeah, definitely.
In 5v5, people tend to go for. I mean, you do get the odd mashup here and there. You do get mashups every now and then. So you might get 4 from one faction with one thrown in.
Yeah.
Or you might get 3 with 2 of another faction. But what you end up finding, I mean, I came across it a lot during my ults, is sometimes the defense will be completely factionless. So you'll come up, you'll look at the back wall and it'll be 3 random characters, but because they're strong, people have thought, well, I'd rather put 3 random gear 11s in and hope that they can strip some banners off my opponent than 1 gear 11, 1 gear 9, and 1 gear 8 from the same faction.
Yeah.
And I can completely understand that, because it doesn't matter how good the faction is. If you throw a gear 8 in there,
it's probably going to get run over
straight away.
Yeah, I mean that's it. I mean, it's kind of funny. 3v3 is one of those. I'm pretty sure I remember you saying you like 3v3. But
I love it. I love 3v3. Big fan.
For me, it's always the first week is it's one of those where I dread it until it starts, and then it's super exciting because it's just so fresh. And then the second week is it's still pretty okay. Like it's still like all right. And then the third week you're just like, all right, I'm ready for 5v5 again. And then the fourth week you're like, that was 1 week too many. For me anyway. That's how I always get into 3v3. The only time I've ever not got Kyber was when I skipped a month to get Trapped in Carbonite. I was traveling and I had a bunch of stuff going on, so I was like, okay, I'll just skip this month, grab Trapped in Carbonite, and call it. And that was I was 3v3 fortuitously. Like I was just like, oh, perfect.
Yeah, I know a couple people. Who have gone for the Trapped in Carbonite specifically when the 3v3 month comes around.
Yeah.
Me personally, I love 3v3. I would never even dream. I would never dream of going for Trapped in Carbonite, because I love 3v3. I think it's the best aspect of this game. I think if GAC wasn't around, a lot less people would be playing.
Oh,
I do genuinely think that. I think
100%. I mean, I'm one of them.
It's the most streamed. Thing within Star
game
Wars
mode,
Galaxy of Heroes. You go as soon as GAC is on, and as soon as the attack phase is on, you can go onto Twitch, tap on the game, and there will be a half a dozen to a dozen people streaming their GAC.
Yeah.
When GAC is not on, you might find 1 or 2 people streaming it. But they're not really streaming anything, And I mean, don't get. There are events. People, I mean, I was one. I streamed the JKL event.
Yeah.
People still like to stream, the Revan event, the Malik event, and the Gas event. The Gas event is a fun one to stream.
Oh yeah, I did that one.
So much frustration in the person doing it. So
mine was in P4. It was over 4 hours or something, and I knew it could take whatever. It just needed RNG, so it was one of those where I was just grinding, and I mean, I had like 30 people in there with me, just like sweating it out with me. It was a schwitz fest, and It was a funny one. Like I was talking about taking a break for dinner. Like my blood sugar was crashing, and I'm just sitting there like, I was literally like almost passed out in my chair and my feet up. It was one of those. And then all of a sudden, something started going right at the start of the phase 4, and I was like, oh, and I'm like sitting up, but I'm like, it's like I'm laying down, so I'm like picking myself up, like, huh? And then everybody's like, oh shit, and then I was like, oh, it's gonna happen,
It's gonna happen.
yeah, and then it happened. It was like, oh. And then put it on the other side. I remember when Fartmart got Jen Sky, and my word, he had that moment where it was coming down. It was B1 and Droideka, and I think he had a Saj still or B2, one of the other ones standing, and he goes and he rolls Droideka. He sits down Skywalker, and I'm sitting there going, oh no, I think he rolled Droideka one turn too soon, and then lo and behold, General Skywalker stands up and drops Droideka, and he's like, no! And that was like 4 or 5 hours into it. It was like, oh, man.
I have no experience of the General Skywalker event. I don't have gas, and I'm not preparing for gas. Not on my main. There's only 2 accounts. My main and my oldest alt.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 accounts I could realistically go for gas on. And to be honest with you, I have absolutely no intention of going for gas.
But you have
I've
JKL.
got JKL on both the accounts.
Yeah.
And I am at the moment just way too preoccupied going for GL counters at the moment.
Yeah, that's why
I'm
gas
doing,
would be important.
Exactly. So I know that I can beat a gas.
Yeah.
I've fought gas twice and I've beaten gas twice. So beating gas and competing against gas isn't an issue. I don't feel it's something that I need to go for because I know that it would take my GP. It would take the top end of my GP through the roof.
But what it does, though, is it gives you 3 top-end teams, though. It gives you your Grievous, a Padme, and basically shot clones, because you have JKL. So JKL and gas together is disgusting. I mean, that's...
Yeah, I have heard that they are... I mean...
They're really good together. And then, especially if you have JKL, I mean, there's a good chance that those accounts, your accounts are going to be swinging into JML territory at a certain point, especially if you're going for, like, Chupio, and if you've got JKL, that means your CLS is rock and roll. So I mean,
yeah, I am going to go for JML just by default.
Yeah.
Because I've already got most of the character. Obviously, I still need Chupio and I still need
Mon Mothma. Yeah.
Mon Mothma. So I still need them, but I was farming them anyway because they're really, really good characters.
Yeah, fantastic. Chupio is the only character that I've ever felt compelled to whale for, like. Ever.
Oh, you wailed for them. See, I'm free to play, so I never wail on anything. But I'll be damned if I'm not going to farm those characters up and relic them straight away.
I bought a vault and bought it out of shipments. I didn't do like the gamble packs, so I just did it that way, which is the smart way. Because I know I have some friends that have done the gamble packs and stuff, and I mean I'm not up for spending that kind of money anywhere, on this kind of But just, I was like, you know what? Grabbing a vault, I'll take it out of, I'll take my, a Twitch payout, grab a vault, and I'll get Chupio, because I love CLS. It's my favorite team. Just my favorite team. And then all of a sudden, it was like they released Mon Mothma, and she's really, really good. And I'm like, okay, we have 2 Rebel characters dropping. That means Rebel, Galactic, Legend. So I started kind of going after it before... I don't have JKL yet. I'm JKL ready, but I don't have him yet. Here's the craziest part. Give me JKL and I'm JML ready. So yeah. It's like I'm just waiting.
No, for me, as soon as JKL was announced and released, I knew I wasn't going to get him straight away because I'm free to play.
Yeah.
But the second he dropped, I was like, right, I need to know what the requirements are. Everybody that did the event said you can do it with the minimum requirements. So you only need them at Relic 3. I knew I had good mods, so I'd be able to swap them around for the event. And I just went ham. I stopped everything that I was doing. Literally stopped everything. Everything went on hold, especially on my main account, so that I was 100% ready in exactly 3 months for when he came back. And when he came back, I was there. I was ready.
Yeah.
I was 100% ready. And I just went for it. And it took me 2.5, 3 hours. And then a couple of days later, I was ready on my oldest alt account, and I got him on my oldest alt account.
Nice,
So,
nice.
and I've got him up to Relic 7.
Yeah.
On my main, and I don't plan to use him for anything. Like for example, to get my full clear today on my main account, once I got through door number 2, there was a Relic, JKR, GMY, and Bindo.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at that thinking, hey, you can hide this behind door number 2 all you like. I've got a Relic 7 JKL, and he's just going to that was it. It's him with Hermit Yoda and a Gear 12 old bed. And it's just time, so double tap Bindo, then get Jake. Yeah. So
yeah.
It doesn't matter how hard they hit, they're not going to kill him.
Yeah.
I love my I do love my JKL. I really, really do. But getting the GL counters, getting the off-meta counters is my kind of what I'm working on at the moment. So as soon as I've got old Ben Relic, I'll be working on Basti so that I can get that squared away.
Yeah, the Luke nuke.
And then I need to do a little bit of work on my GBA because I don't have Shore Trooper. But with the new changes,
You'll have
that are
them
coming
pretty
in,
quick, yeah.
I will definitely. I mean, that's it. I will be. I would never have dreamed of farming for Shore Trooper because he's a hard mode farm and his drop rate is just ridiculous. It's just terrible. So it would literally take me forever. But because he's going to be on the fast track, it's going to take me half the amount of time.
Half of forever.
So I will farm for Shore Trooper for my Slacker counter.
Yeah, so it's incredible. So I'm one of those people where I've been spending most of my refreshes on gear for over a year. Just like I only farm what I need, like shard wise, and I'm usually going straight out for gear. And it was only in the last maybe month where I started. Maybe 6 weeks. 6 weeks. I started actually expanding and doing some more shard farming and stuff like that. Because I was like, I'm really missing some stuff. And here's the funniest part. Shore Trooper is something that I've been wanting to farm for like 4 months. Mm-hmm. So I've been kind of going, okay, once I get everything ready for the Lukes, and that's all done, as soon as one of my current hard node farms finishes up, it's Shore. That's the thing, because I'm like, because I need him.
No, I'm in exactly the same boat as you. He's because he's going to take half as long to farm. He's just worth the farm now. Mm-hmm. Him and Krennic.
Yeah. Well, Krennic is someone I've been working on because it's one of those, because I wanted Piet, so I'm working on Piet. I've been hard node farming him as soon as he was available, and I've been working on Krennic as soon as as soon as there was a hard node farm that was open, essentially. So I also have TIE Bomber. TIE Bomber's almost 7 stars. It's one of those, because originally my thought was to go and grab SCE after JML, just honestly to counter JML, because I'm like, I know Kylo doesn't work because I have Arena and I'm already facing them, and Kylo just doesn't kill them very well. So I was like, okay. So I was like, let's figure out another way to do this. I know Darth Revan does it, but I'm like, it's so weird because I love throwing Darth Revan on defense. I love, and there's a lot of things that I like breaking up Darth Revan into a couple of different teams and just undermanning stuff. Like, that's one thing I always trash my opponents on, is I've got almost 500 underman wins or something like that, versus, usually it's something like 200 or less, like. Mm-hmm. And that's one of those teams where it's easy to do that, just to break it up. You're like, okay, well, we'll take Darth Revan and HK, and we can send him with Sith Empire Trooper over here. We can send Basti over here. We can do Malik solo. Like, boom, laughing.
I do like going for the solos, but I'll go for a solo if I know I can, afford a loss or a timeout or something like that. But here's the thing. I mean, a lot of the time, I'll just think to myself, you know what? I don't need the solo. I'm not chasing the solo feats because I've already done them. Because sometimes you can complete the solo feat after the first week.
Yeah.
Because you get that many battles and you get that many opportunities to do a solo that you can get your undersizeds.
Yeah.
So if I don't need undersizeds, and it looks like I'm on for the win, I mean, I would rather put a full squad in that's overkill and just hit the auto and annihilate them in 15 seconds than go for a solo for the sake of going for a solo. Unless I was testing something. Because it's sometimes if you can afford to lose a solo, sometimes it's nice to think, you know what, I've got this one relic character. I'd really like to know if this relic character can solo something.
Yeah.
Like I'll give you a good example. When you go for JKL, you've got to have a relic 3 Lando.
Yeah.
And if you mod him so that his crit chance is really, really high, every time he does his when you put him into a battle for a solo, all he does is AoE, because if he crits any of them hits, the cooldown gets reset.
Yeah.
So it's go after go after go after go after go. It's just he never has to basic.
Yeah.
It's just constant AoEs. And he will. I mean, I haven't tried him on 3v3, but I tried him on a couple of 5v5s. So you know, I like to throw him in if I haven't thrown him on defense. Sometimes you can find these odd characters that you can't really find a squad for them.
Yeah.
But against a medium B team or a tough C team, you can throw them in and get a solo. Especially when you need the banners.
Yeah.
Because we've all been there. You know, you'll put in a 3-man team, and the RNG gods will smite you, and you'll end up losing one of your 3, and you're thinking to yourself, you end up losing
all the extra banners that you got. Yeah.
You end up losing 3 or 4 banners on a battle you never thought you were going to lose 3 or 4 banners on.
Yeah.
And then you're thinking in the back of your mind, well, if I just do one solo, I can make up for 2 of those banners. Yeah,
that's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I go in with 3 and I lose a little bit of protection on each of them, I'm thinking, all right, I've lost 3. But you know, if you lose a whole character, it's a whole 2 banners. You know, so instead of a 54, you're getting a 49 or a 50, and I'm just thinking to myself, crap. Okay, now I need a solo to make up the banners. So. Whereas if you just go ham with an overkill team that's just going to destroy them in 15 seconds, you're coming out of that with 54.
Yeah, legit. Yeah. So it's a funny one. So I've been using Lando. I have him modded for crit chance. Everything's going to crit, and I have him with my Hoth Rebel Scout with Mon Mothma at the moment, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm boring. I just went Rolo, Captain Han Solo, and
Lando.
Lando, yeah, because those are the 3 characters that I had to take to Relic 3 in order to get JKL.
And I mean, it's one of those, if you can find use for them, then that's great, because Captain Han and Rolo aren't the best. I know Rolo can do some big hits, especially in 3v3 with those, that AoE or whatever being condensed onto fewer characters and everything. But if I ever have to take Rolo and Captain into a battle, I know I'm in trouble.
Yeah. They're not ideal. They're really, really not ideal. It's a bit like you get people that have gone for Galactic Legends. You'll see a lot of their characters on defense.
Yeah.
It's like, what else am I going to do with these relic characters? Nothing. So I'm going to throw them on defense
and hope for the best,
because I know that my opponent is still going to have to hit them with something hard.
Yeah,
they're going to get knocked out. It's like what's the non-GL analogy would be the Carthanasi team.
Yeah.
People still put it down, even though they know
it's going to get solo.
I'll put it down because I know that my opponent is going to waste their Palpatine and Vader so that they can get maximum banners against it. It's not going to strip banners. It's not going to do anything except kind of coax you into using your Vader on that squad. But why wouldn't you use your Palpatine Vader on that squad? Because you know you're going to get max banners from that battle.
For me,
it's kind of there's a little bit of give and take there.
For me, where I'm at in terms of roster development, so like my opponents rarely set it, but when they do, I'm always like, ooh, OG Kylo, come have some fun, buddy. Like, you know, or Nest works really well there, or Malik, you know, anything where I can get that team, because that team's just not really a danger to any of those characters.
No, it really isn't.
Yeah, and it's an interesting one because, I mean, that Old Republic team could be quite a bit better if it was just like if they gave, like, Old Republic tag should be on Visas Mar. Like, why isn't it?
It should be. I agree with you. Yeah,
it's like that might work against a Palp Vader. That might help against a Malik with the thing, maybe a timeout, because there's a lot of health regen and you get the revives. So it's like maybe, but instead of that, they're just like, nah, she doesn't get any tags. She's light side. That's it. It's like, what?
To me, it's a case of there's a couple squads like that. The Carthanasi team is one of them. People feel the need. I mean, I do it. You know, I feel the need to throw it on defense, especially in 5v5, simply because I geared it.
Yeah.
And you know, I've geared it. I've zated it, and I did all of that because I was going for Revan and I was going for Malik. And I think people feel pressured into it's like, well, I spent all of this time and effort on these useless characters. There's nothing. They will do nothing on offense, right? They are. It's not like you can use them to beat an A team. You can't use them. I mean, they won't even. You know, they'll get timed out against good, solid B teams. So you just think. So most people are just resigned to the fact that I'll just throw it on defense. It's a bit like Ewoks. You know, a lot of people have geared Ewoks going for C-3PO. So people think, well, sod it. I'll put Ewoks on defense.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, a light geared Ewok team will smash Old Republic.
No, they will. I mean, from a tactical point of view, though, I can understand. I mean, I myself, when I've looked at opponents, and when I know, you know, and I would hope opponents would look at me, I want them to see that I put my Ewoks on defense because I want them to keep their nest for offense. I don't want to see a nest on defense.
Yeah.
I want to force them to do their research, look at what I put down, and see that I'm giving them what they think is an easy nest solo. I don't give them an easy nest solo because I take Wicket out and I put C-3PO in. So I actually put in a nest timeout team.
I was going to say, if you go high potency on log ray, you can still do it. You can still time a nest out.
Oh yeah, you can. I just my C-3PO is kind of surplus to requirements. I don't really use him on offense. I could put him in my Padme team, but my Padme team still needs work. But I'm trying to draw them into not putting their nest on defense.
Yeah, I follow.
I find I just don't like coming up against nest on defense. I want to put in a squad. Yeah, I just want to put in something that makes them think, oh, great, this person puts this on defense. I won't put my nest in defense. I'm going to keep it for offense because I'll be able to solo that team and get banners.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to my best to coax them with a few little bits and pieces here and there. It's like putting Night Sisters on the front. You're Night Sisters with Carthanasi, and then saving Shakti clones and Padme on the back. You're trying to draw out certain offensive teams that your opponent's got and get them to waste it on the front. So when they get to the back line, they're thinking to themselves, crap, I wish I'd saved that. I'm going to lose banners against that team.
Yeah. Like, I do something similar. I usually go pretty deep dive on their GIC history, and I see what teams they like to use where, and then that really affects how I like to set defense. If they use the same team against a lot of stuff, then expect to see 2 or 3 of those teams they like to use that team on defense. Because for me, that's kind of one of those ones where, you know, plays into my thing. I like giving my opponents some really difficult decisions so they can fuck it up, basically.
Yeah, no, I get that. I've just got a message. Message from my colleague on the
Escape Podcast?
No, but GA Center.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When we've finished our little chat, I think what we need to do is go over to our studio and get you on GA Center. How's that sound, mate?
That sounds pretty good. Let's do that. Yeah.
Let's do that. But we'll do that once we finished our conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I think you and I think that's one of the beautiful things about GAC is you can talk about it forever.
Oh yeah,
it's so easy to talk about this forever and strategize and talk tactics. I mean, you've seen it. I mean, we've seen the amount of conversations that go on the GACN Discord server.
Yeah.
It's, you know, one person will pop in there and say, "Oh, can someone tell me what I need to counter this?" And then a half a dozen people instantly chime in. It's so nice having theory crafters on a half a dozen theory crafters on one Discord server.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one because that's one of the things I like best about like being a part of the community is a fantastic thing. And so when you do have spare time, you can go into other content creators' streams and stuff like that, watch their videos, etc. That's a lot of stuff that I'm watching for. Is what teams do they use where? How did it work? What kind of banners did they get? What was it geared? You know, I start filing that all away in my mind. I'm like, okay, so if I run into something like that, then I know this will work or this won't work, and should be able to get this many banners if the gearing is this and the modding is around that, and that's sort of how I mod. So yeah, that's something I should pay attention to, you know, like that kind of thing. And it's the other thing I like to do is when I go through what my opponents have used on my teams, I'm stunned at some of the stuff that they use that fails, and also stunned at some of the stuff they use that actually works. So it's like, and you just see different things. You're like, I wonder what they were thinking there. And sometimes you'll come up and you'll see something that just blows my mind. Like I had an opponent maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, in 5v5. My Mon Mothma team stopped a Jedi Revan. I was like, what?
Wow.
Yeah, I just saw it in the thing, and I was like, wait, what? And then I checked to see if it timed out, time 0-0, and it did not. It took it took 84 seconds for that Jedi Revan team to get smoked, and I was like, how did that happen? But he went in without Jolie, thinking that he could underman it, and I guess he either marked somebody other than Hoth Rebel Scout, and then Hoth Rebel Scout got revived, and then the TM train started, or he didn't mark Hoth Rebel Scout, and the TM train went crazy, because it was crazy. It was like 84 seconds or something like that, and his Jedi Revan team, sans Jolie, because he was being clever, got smoked. I was just sitting there going like, oh, he must have really regretted not taking Jolie in.
I must admit, I do get a lot of my, I pick up a lot of bits and pieces and kind of file them away in the back of my mind that I come up against.
Yeah.
Some of them I look at and think, yeah, I'm not changing my squads around in order to, do this, even though it was really effective.
Yeah.
Perfect example of that would be, I got timed out. The one squad that I got held on today was Basti, GK, Hoda.
Oh yeah.
I got timed out on it, and it was getting so annoying. I would get it down, I'd get it whittled down, but no matter how hard I hit with GMY, it just wasn't working. It really, really wasn't working, and it annoyed me. It annoyed the crap out of me because I mirrored it with Basti. Basically, I went Basti
on Basti.
Yeah, I just went Basti.
Little
GMY.
girl on girl action there.
Yeah, I just went for some girl-on-girl action, thinking, yeah, with my GMY here, constantly getting offense up, I'm going to, smack this into next Tuesday. And it ended up I ended up getting timed out and getting frustrated because it's like, you know what happens when you get frustrated? Just like, right, okay, sod it. I'm just going to, so I just threw my Geos in, targeted GK and hit auto.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't have done that because I didn't know what was behind. Thankfully, there was no Nasty Night Sister team behind.
I was gonna say, or a nest maybe. Geos are fucking great against Nest.
There was no. The only nasty team that was hidden behind that was the one that was the Jedi Knight Revan, GMY Bindo. I just hit that with my JKL. Apart from that, the other three teams were fine. But that little bit of frustration crept in, and I ended up just throwing in my G12 well-modded Geos, knowing that it would win, but not thinking, hang on a minute, don't use this. What if there's a nasty, what if there are Night Sisters? What if there's Night Sisters behind door number 2? You're going to be screwed.
When I see
there wasn't.
When I see timeout teams like that, usually my first thought is, can my Treya take that? Because that's one of those teams that I just kind of throw at weird stuff, because it's the trio are just so strong, like mechanically still, and like especially since I put the relics on them. Oh baby, they're thick. Those are some sick thick Sith right there.
Yeah, no, I saved my. I didn't want to use my triumvirate because somebody put a nest with a couple of separatist droids.
Oh yeah, that'll do some work.
So I was like, I'm gonna use my sod this. I'm gonna use my Treya on this.
But
I didn't even need the Annihilate with Milos.
Perfect.
So I was, which was weird, but so I'm thinking to myself, great. So I didn't need to waste that because all my Treya teams, every single one of my Treya teams is crit avoidance arrows.
I do it now just on Scion.
I've got crit avoidance arrows on all 3 of them, so that they can survive against relict Geos. Because what I do with what I do against relic Geos especially in 5e, in fact all the time in 5e5, is I undersize it, so I put the triumvirate in, and then I throw what in there.
Oh yeah, that's pretty safe.
Tank tech goes on Scion, health tech goes on Nihilus, and then the offense tech goes on Treya.
That's exactly how I do it. Yeah.
And it destroys them. It destroys relict Geos. And I like to have that little insurance policy of crit avoidance arrows because they will crit.
Oh yeah.
And the last thing you want is them getting one-shotted, because if they get one-shot, then you're like, oh, crap, please, keep hitting yourselves, because relic Geos tend not to hit themselves to death as fast as just G12s or Gear 11. Gear 11s will hit themselves to death, and all you need to do is, like, tap them or blow on them really hard.
Usually by Scion putting the pain out, it's game over against that.
You just got to blow hard on this, like... And then that's it. They all fall down. But that doesn't happen with the Gear 13. It doesn't happen with it just doesn't. So that I got what on all 4 of my accounts.
Yeah.
5v5. I put him with Treya.
So when I had G11s, that was my thing. It was like Watt with the trio, and then I started Gear 12 in them, and it was Watt with the trio still. And then once I got that relic on Scion, I kind of realized I didn't really need Watt anymore.
When you've got a relic side, you just don't need it because he is so stupidly thick. It is. I mean, I must admit, there are occasions where I'll throw Maul in there as a fifth. I'll throw Maul in there as a 5th, either as a sacrificial lamb, because if they go for him, he's gonna die.
Yeah.
But if they don't go for him, and he just gets one AoE off and puts days on all of them, it just makes it so much easier to take them out. It really, really does.
It's like you get a lot more assurance anyway. Like you don't have to worry about Scion getting the one shot there.
You throw Maul in there and you just get a lot more insurance, because it's like, all right, okay, so they killed you. They just wasted all their attacks on a useless character, but I only intended to use once for one thing.
Well, it was funny. A friend of mine, he was using for the longest time undergeared Night Sisters against relic bugs because they just go after zombie over and over and over and over and over and over. They almost never hit anybody else. So, so even with like without the relic on Daka, he was using Night Sisters on bugs, and it was pretty damn consistent. Like every now and then you catch like a big hit on Daka and it all goes sideways, but it was kind of incredible to see. It's like, oh, okay, a bunch of G11 and G12 Night Sisters taking out relic, 7 bugs, perfect. Like,
I mean, there is obviously there is one caveat to that, and that one caveat is if they're all Gear 11, I will use the Utini bomb.
Yeah.
If they're all Gear 11, it's always worth throwing an Utini bomb at them because it's just so much fun watching them all pop off one at a time.
That was the most fun I had when fooling around with an Utini bomb myself. It was throwing it in against some. I threw it in against some bugs and popped it in 3v3. It was fucking hilarious. It's one of those like I was just like, this is ridiculous. I need these guys. So that's another one of those like, when shards are when shards are cheaper, so to speak. It's like maybe I'll grab some Jawas or something as a side project. But it's I don't know. There's a lot of like fun little teams and stuff like that we don't see too much of. I think IG11 is going to be able, like the Quill and IG11 are going to open up some really interesting droid options. With Chupio being a droid, and then you can do something like even HK lead with Chupio and Quill and IG11. I mean,
I want to see. I really want to see what Urza does with IG11 and Quill, because he's got a relic Lobot.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was thinking the Lobot meta.
I've just got this sneaking suspicion that Lobot's lead, a relict Lobot lead, is going to just boost the crap out of them. I just think it's going to do something wonderful.
It's funny. So how about something like Lobot, T3M4, Chupio, IG, and Quill? That would be pretty nasty.
I can't wait to see I just can't wait to see IG11 come out, and I'll be really, really curious to see what Urza does with Lobot and those two characters. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's one of those ones, like I remember is Lobot versus the meta and stuff like that, and so that was something I actually thought of right off the bat. I was like, I wonder if Lobot is going to be good with these guys. Just see the low, like just get in there, you get the Lobot intro, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, we got these new characters with Lobot. Let's see how it rolls. You got T3M4 giving out that extra like defensive penetration and everything, and oof. That could be nasty.
It'd be nice. But it'd be nice for Urza to dust off the entrance vid for Lobot.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Lobot.
Now they just need to bring something in to make Tuskens relevant again.
Well, they just need 2 more Tuskens. They need to get the Geo treatment. That's really what needs to happen. I could see them doing it. Why wouldn't they do it? Tuskens are one of those things that they've been in so much of the Star Wars lore, so much of the, you have them in a couple of the films. They're in the shows. They're in Mandalorian. Like
they've been in the Mandalorian a hell of a lot.
They've been in all the video games. It's like Tuskens are just they're part of the fabric of the universe, essentially, in terms of their constant showing back up. So now it's just one of those where you just got to get 2 more Tuskens in there, give them the Geo's treatment.
Well, I mean, there are 4. So I mean, if they gave just 1.
I thought there was only 3, right? It's Tusken Raider, Uror, and Shaman.
You got Shaman, Uror. I could have swore there was 4.
No, there's just 3.
Why am I thinking there's 4 then?
Probably. No, I have no idea.
Why I think there's 4.
I have no idea. But yeah, they've
5
just.
Jawas.
Yeah,
it's not fair that there's not 5 Tuskens.
You would think so. I mean, Jawas haven't featured as much.
Leader.
Yeah, exactly. They just need a GBA character.
Yeah.
and then
GBA type Tusken,
another damage dealer maybe, or a secondary heal or something like that. Something annoying, just something that's just annoying. Or how
something
about
that makes people think, you know what? I've got a bunch of ungeared 7-star Tuskens. Maybe I'll throw some gear on them. People instant. You know, when people first started finding out about the Utini bomb, people started gearing their Jawas.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing.
Just give people a reason to spend a little, spend some crystals on their Jawas.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those. I could see CG doing that. Just once again, it's a really low cost of entry for them to get people throwing gear at something that's off meta. So I could just see that being a good thing for the game in terms of that, like, fun for us. And also something where it's like they can get some revenue out of it, so it's a win-win situation with stuff like that.
Exactly, they would do, because a whale or a kraken or a dolphin isn't gonna want to stop what they're doing. But if they know, oh, you know what, if I just buy a couple of chests, that'll be enough for me to gear 11 these guys, and then we all know what gear 11 geos.
Yeah.
And if they brought in some Tusken stuff to do the exact same thing with the Tuskens, people will be like, well, you know what? A couple of crates of crystals, that'll be enough for me to gear 11 my Tuskens. And and then people, it's like, that's it. It's level 2 to be used.
Well, and there's some cool mechanics that they could bring in. They could have like a Tusken that summons, instead of a brute, they summon a bantha or something like that, or the crate dragon. Ooh. Think about that.
Oh, yeah.
Crate dragon attack. I could see that.
See, that'd be a very cool AoE.
Oh, yeah. All of a sudden, I could see that.
One per stampede.
Yeah, exactly. Something. You could see a lot of the options that are there, and it's one of those factions that, especially, they keep coming back. Like, they're big in Mandalorian right now. They've been in they were big in the prequels. They were big in the original series, just because of the interaction with Ben and Luke and R2 and stuff at the beginning. It's one of those. It's a shame that faction hasn't been built up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's something that's a bit overdue, I think. The other
needs some love.
Yeah,
it needs some love.
And I think they they gotta finish off the 212s. Like, Sarge is in, Cody's in. Just give us Waxer and Boyle, and then all of a sudden you've got another team for Shock T or something like that, or go give us 5 or whatever we got to do.
I think, to be honest with you, I think it would be a cold day in hell before CG do anything more to clones in the Galactic Republic era. It is going to be all Mandalorian and
all
everything that spins off from the Mandalorian from this point on.
Well, I definitely expect a legendary very soon. So Moff Gideon will be 6, because Kara, so 6, and then
hopefully we'll get some more Empire remnants.
Yeah, so
Scout Trooper and Flame Trooper.
Flame Trooper definitely should. Scout Trooper should already be in the game. He's not, so definitely expect that. So what I'm thinking is you get a legendary from these original 6, and then later they do like a touch up on Death Trooper, so he gets Moff Gideon synergy, and then they do Flame Trooper, Scout Trooper, and then you've got 2 Trooper teams, which would be really cool.
I must admit, I would very much like to see a 501st Stormtrooper with a similar mechanic to the B1.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. So it gets 50 stacks, and if you say it gets 100 stacks.
Yeah.
So you get 100 Stormtroopers, because that's what Stormtroopers.
I think the original Stormtrooper needs that. The original Stormtrooper needs that rework. That would be such a big thing, because that's one of those least gear characters. When you look around, I don't know very many people that have Stormtrooper geared, right? So it's like, you give him that rework, and all of a sudden everybody's gonna be pushing him to Relic. It's just one of those.
Oh God, yeah, no, I would. I mean, I would instant. I mean, if he was if he did this, if they put the B1 mechanic on the Stormtrooper, then yeah, definitely. But I'd still like to see a 501st Stormtrooper.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of options, a lot of different troopers and stuff that they can bring in. I mean, I like that I like what they do with them. Like Sith Empire Trooper's a great character. Fawcett's fantastic, absolutely fantastic character. You look at that, like the adding Piet with the Trooper synergy is pretty great. Even though he's synergizes with Vader better, I gotta think Moff Gideon is going to be a Trooper lead. Gotta be. Like when you think about it, it's like I could just see him and say like Death Trooper, and maybe Magma Trooper or something like that. Like getting some of these older troopers some love, so that way you still have your Stark with Veers and Snow and stuff like that, with range and all that. And but yeah, I could see that being really, really, really solid.
Yeah, one of the things that I speculated earlier on during my GAC stream was maybe it's not even a character that we're gonna get.
The Razor Crest.
Maybe it's the Razor Crest.
I can see that.
Maybe the 5 Mandalorian light side characters are to get the Razor Crest.
Yeah, that would make sense to me.
I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I do really think that would be so freaking awesome.
Well, here's the thing. So then you do that opens the door to a bounty hunter cap ship, and it becomes more of a case of picking how you want to allocate your ships, because there's not enough ships for the cap ships we already have. But having like cargo ships and bounty hunter ship synergy with a bounty hunter cap ship, your Hondo Onaka there,
Oh God, yeah.
I just see think, it.
Hopefully, I mean, it's going to be I mean, it's the Mandalorian. The Mandalorian is where the content is going to come from.
Yeah.
It's all going to come from the Mandalorian.
I just had an idea. I think someone mentioned it before, but it just popped into my head, so I can't remember who to give credit for it, or if it just came somewhere from the ether. But what if the Razor Crest is like, say a Millennium Falcon or something, is a cornerstone to a fleet, but what the Razor Crest does is it basically summons a cap ship.
Summons a capital ship.
Yeah. So like if you put in the Razor Crest, it gives you a cap ship or something that functions as a cap ship, right? Like there's like there is like you don't need a cap ship with it, and it only has cargo ship and bounty hunter synergy.
Oh, yeah, I mean, there is that.
Like, that could be interesting.
There are a couple of bounty hunter capital ships in the extended universe.
Yeah.
I don't see CG going for that. I mean, they could always use Booster Terek, who had a painted red Star Destroyer, which would be pretty easy for them to do, but boring.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if they wanted to keep it current, they could simply use the space station.
Yeah.
That was from the season 1 episode.
Yeah.
The bounty hunter one.
Yeah, that could work.
They could use that as a capital ship.
Because that's one of the things that I'm worried about. Well, not worried about so much. It's just is this cool ship going to be like the Ebon Hawk, right? Ebon Hawk's a great fucking ship. It can go into almost any fleet and do well there. It has some really great purpose. The mechanics are fantastic, but it doesn't really have a genuine home of a fleet that it needs to be in. It's like, if they release something like a Razor Crest, is it going to be like that, where you're just kind of looking, oh, where do I stick this? You know?
I think when they drop the Razor Crest, it's just going to be a homeless ship.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
It's going to be like, here's a cool ship. We put some cool mechanics on it. Have at it,
Yeah, figure out something to do with it.
Warriors come back to the game recently, and when it comes to theory crafting, he is badass at theory crafting when it comes to ships. So if they dump the Razor Crest into the game, there's no doubt in the back of my mind that A, he would wail on it, and B, he would find a much good home for that ship.
Well, that's always good. It's always good. I just looked down and see I've been chatting your ear off for over an hour now, so I should probably let you go.
Yeah. Let's wrap it up, shall we?
Yeah. Let's get the show on the road. Thanks for so much for stopping in and having a chat with us. It was really great having this. I think we just basically kept on subject, essentially. We kept on the similar subject the whole time, which is amazing. But anyway, guys, once again, do check out the Nev on the Escape Podcast, and you'll also see him streaming under the Escape Podcast name. And GAC Network usually is Tuesday nights at 10, I believe.
It's
9:30?
Tuesdays at 9:30 Central.
9:30. That's it. Central. Yeah. So, yeah, that's why it's 10:30 for me. But yeah, so we'll see you guys there tomorrow night for your stream, which would be a lot of fun. And as always, guys, if you've liked the video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. If you haven't liked the video, well, why did you watch an hour of it, you weirdo? If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do subscribe. And go ahead and leave a comment in the section down below. What did you think of the chat? Do you have any comments you want to add to anything we had talked about? Love to hear what you got to say about it. Anyway, guys, you have a good one.